Let me ask you something, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself when you answer this. 10 years from now, you will surely arrive somewhere. The only question is, where? 10 years from now, you will surely become someone. The only question is, who? Think about that for a moment, because most people wake up every single morning, go through the same routine, complain about the same problems, make the same amount of money, live in the same kind of house, and wonder why nothing ever changes. They are not bad people. They are not lazy people. They are simply people who have never been taught the 5 simple steps that separate average from extraordinary. They are people who have never been shown the difference between a life that happens to you and a life that you deliberately design. I have been exactly where you are sitting right now. I grew up on a farm in Idaho. Nothing fancy, nothing glamorous, just wide open land, hard work, and a family doing everything they could to get by. I was a young man with big dreams but zero direction. I got married, and suddenly the weight of the world landed on my shoulders. Bills had to be paid, groceries had to be bought, rent was due, and no matter how hard I worked, no matter how many hours I put in, the numbers never added up. I would sit at the kitchen table and stare at the bills and think, what am I missing? What does everybody else know that I don't? I started asking myself the questions that so many of you might be asking right now. Should I go back to school? Should I get more education? Should I start a business? Should I learn a new skill? I was spinning in circles, working harder and harder, but getting nowhere. I was the definition of average, not because I lacked ambition, but because I lacked a system. And then something happened that would change the entire direction of my life. I met a man named Earl Shoaff, Mr. Earl Shoaff. Now, Mr. Shoaff was not a celebrity. He was not famous in the way the world defines fame. But he was something far more valuable than famous. He was wise. He had cracked the code. He had figured out the principles that govern success, wealth, personal development, and the kind of life that most people only dream about. And for reasons that I will forever be grateful for, he took an interest in me. He saw something in a struggling farm kid from Idaho that I could not yet see in myself. For 5 years, I worked alongside Mr. Earl Shoaff. 5 years of learning, listening, observing, and applying. He did not hand me a treasure map. He gave me something far more powerful. He gave me a philosophy, a way of thinking. A set of principles so clear and so simple that once you hear them, you cannot unhear them. And once you apply them, your life begins to change in ways you never thought possible. Mr. Shoaff passed away. And when he did, I realized that the greatest tribute I could ever pay to his memory was to take everything he taught me and share it with as many people as I possibly could. That is why I stand before you today. That is why I travel the world delivering these seminars, because what he gave me is not mine to keep. It belongs to everyone willing to listen. So today, I want to share with you the 5 steps that will take you from average to fortune. Not fortune in the narrow sense of just money, although that will come. Fortune in the full sense of the word. A rich life, a meaningful life, a life with purpose, direction, momentum, and joy. These 5 steps are not complicated. In fact, their simplicity is their power. But do not confuse simple with easy. These steps require commitment. They require honesty. They require a willingness to look in the mirror and say, I can do better. I will do better. Starting now, let us begin. Step 1, get serious. The first step sounds almost too obvious to mention, and yet it is the one that stops more people cold than any other. Get serious. Serious about your life. Serious about your future. Serious about what you want, where you are going, and who you intend to become. Here is the painful truth that most motivational speakers are afraid to tell you. Most people are not serious about their lives. They are serious about their hobbies. They are serious about their favorite sports team. They're serious about what is happening on television. But when it comes to their actual life, their goals, their finances, their relationships, their health, their personal development, they are operating on autopilot. They are drifting. They are letting the current take them wherever it goes, and then wondering why they end up somewhere they never wanted to be. Getting serious starts with 2 things: goals and personal development. And I mean real, written down, thought out, emotionally connected goals. Not vague wishes, not foggy fantasies, actual goals with actual timelines. Ask yourself right now, Where do you want to be 5 years from now? Not in general terms. Be specific. Where do you want to live? What kind of work do you want to do? How much do you want to earn? What kind of relationships do you want to have? What experiences do you want to collect? What kind of person do you want to be? Now ask yourself, where do you want to be 10 years from now? Most people, when you ask them these questions, stare at you like a deer in headlights. They have never seriously sat down and mapped out their own future. They have goals for their vacation. They have goals for their weekend, but they have no goals for their life. And here is the consequence of that. If you do not define where you are going, life will define it for you. And I promise you, life's default version of your story is not the one you would write for yourself. Getting serious also means getting serious about personal development, about becoming a better human being, not just a richer one, not just a more successful one in the external sense, but a better thinker, a better communicator, a better parent, a better friend, a better leader. Because here is the fundamental law of success. Your life will never outgrow you. The results in your bank account, in your relationships, in your career, they are all a direct reflection of the person you have become on the inside. If you want bigger results, you have to become a bigger person. So the first assignment I give you today is this. Sit down tonight, take out a piece of paper, and write down the answers to these questions. Where do I want to be in 5 years? In 10 years? What do I want to earn? What do I want to experience? What kind of person do I need to become to get there? That is step one. Get serious, because a serious person with a clear direction will always outperform a talented person with no direction. Step two, get smart. Once you are serious, once you have defined where you want to go and who you want to become, the next step is to acquire the knowledge to get there. Get smart. Now, I want to be careful here, because getting smart does not necessarily mean going back to school. It does not mean collecting more degrees or certificates. It means becoming a student of life, a student of your craft, a student of human nature and success and philosophy and history. It means making a commitment that you will never stop learning for as long as you live. There is nothing worse in this world than being stupid, not in the sense of natural intelligence. None of us chose that, but there is a kind of willful, chosen ignorance that is entirely avoidable. There are people who, after they leave school, never read another serious book for the rest of their lives. They stop learning. They stop growing, and then they wonder why their results stop growing too. The people who go from average to fortune are learners, ravenous, relentless, passionate learners. They read books, not just any books. They read the books that their craft demands, that their goals require, that their personal development calls for. They attend seminars, they listen to lectures, they seek out mentors, they study people who have already achieved what they want to achieve, and they ask, what did they know? What did they do? How did they think? Keep a journal. This is one of the most powerful habits I can recommend. Write down what you are learning. Write down ideas that strike you. Write down your observations about yourself and the world around you. The act of writing something down is the act of committing it to memory and making it real. Your journal is the record of your growth. Years from now, you will flip back through it and see how far you have traveled. Listen to the experiences of others. Do not be so proud that you think you have to discover everything for yourself. One of the greatest shortcuts in life is learning from the mistakes and victories of other people. If someone has already climbed the mountain you're trying to climb, find out exactly how they did it. Ask questions, pay attention, take notes. And equally important, learn from your own experiences. Every failure has a lesson embedded in it. Every success has a principle hiding inside it. Do not just experience things. Reflect on what you experienced. Extract the wisdom. Carry it forward. The formula is simple. Information leads to wisdom. Wisdom leads to better decisions. Better decisions lead to better results. Better results lead to a better life. It starts with information. It starts with the decision to get smart. Here is a challenge for you. What is one book that, if you read it in the next 30 days, would directly accelerate your progress toward your most important goal? Buy it tonight. Start it tomorrow, finish it this month, then pick another one. Do that for 1 year, and I promise you, the person you will be at the end of that year will be unrecognizable compared to who you are sitting here today. Never stop learning. The day you stop learning is the day you stop growing. And the day you stop growing is the day you start declining. There is no standing still in this game. Step 3, get going. Here is where so many people fall apart. They get serious. They have goals and direction. They get smart. They read the books and attend the seminars and fill their journals with wisdom. And then they do absolutely nothing with any of it. Get going, action, execution, movement. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the dream meets reality. And this is where the vast majority of people quietly surrender. Knowledge without action is nothing more than entertainment. Think about it this way. Imagine a man who wants to build a house. He buys every book on architecture ever written. He attends every seminar on construction. He fills 3 journals with notes on design and engineering and materials. He becomes the most knowledgeable person in the room on the subject of building houses. And then he never picks up a hammer. He never lays a single brick. He never breaks ground. How many houses does that man have? 0. He has a beautiful collection of knowledge and a lot of empty land. Knowledge without action produces nothing. And this is perhaps the most common tragedy I see in people who come to my seminars. They are beautifully educated and completely paralyzed. Why does this happen? Because action is risky. Action means that now you have to show up. Now you have to perform. Now you have to face the possibility of failure. As long as you are still learning, you can tell yourself you are not ready yet. You can stay comfortable. You can keep planning. But the moment you get going, the moment you take that first real step, you are exposed. And that vulnerability is terrifying to most people. But here is the truth that you have to anchor deep in your soul. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. The person who starts, stumbles, learns, adjusts, and keeps moving will always outrun the person who waits for the perfect moment. Because the perfect moment does not exist. It never has. It never will. Get going in your economic life. Make the phone call, send the email, have the conversation, apply for the position, start the business, make the investment. Do not wait until conditions are perfect, because conditions will never be perfect. Get going now and let the conditions catch up. Get going in your personal life. Have the difficult conversation you have been avoiding. Rebuild the relationship that needs rebuilding. Start the health habit you have been postponing. Become the person you have been saying you will become someday. Someday is not a day of the week. Pick a real day. Make it today. Get going in your social life. Connect with the people who inspire you. Build the network that your future self will need. Be generous with your time and your knowledge and your encouragement. The quality of your relationships will determine the quality of your life more than almost any other single factor. Plan your actions daily, weekly, monthly. Sit down every morning and ask, what 3 things can I do today that will move me closer to my most important goal? Then go do those 3 things before anything else, before the noise starts, before the demands of the day take over. Protect your highest value hours and spend them on your highest value activities. Get going, because the life you want is not waiting for you to be ready. It is waiting for you to start. Step 4. Get excited. Now here is the step that people always underestimate. They think that excitement is a luxury, a nice to have, something that shows up when things are going well. But I am here to tell you that excitement is not a byproduct of success. Excitement is a precondition for success. Get excited. Get excited about your potential. Get excited about your future. Get excited about what you are capable of becoming and building and experiencing in this one extraordinary lifetime that you have been given. Let me say something to you that I want to stay with you for the rest of your life. Any day you wish, any single day, you can change your life. Not someday. Not after you lose the weight or get the promotion or pay off the debt or figure it all out. Today. Right now. In this moment, you have the power to make a decision that redirects the entire trajectory of your existence. That should not just be comforting. That should be electrifying. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking, I have heard this before. You are thinking, I have been excited before, and it wore off. And you are right. Excitement that is not rooted in discipline and commitment does wear off. That is why I say get excited about discipline first. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Every person who has ever built anything remarkable built it one disciplined day at a time. They did not wait to feel motivated. They showed up when they did not feel like it. They did the work when the work was boring. They stayed committed when the results were slow. And discipline, practiced consistently over time, produces a confidence and a momentum that no amount of cheerleading can manufacture. Get excited about personal change. Here is something beautiful about human beings that separates us from every other creature on this planet. We can reinvent ourselves. We are not locked into who we have been. The caterpillar does not look at the cocoon and say, I am not sure change is for me. It surrenders to the transformation. And what comes out the other side is something that could not have been imagined from the caterpillar stage. Consider what human beings are capable of. Children, small children, can learn multiple languages simultaneously without formal instruction. They absorb, they imitate, they practice, they grow. They do not worry about looking stupid. They do not worry about failing. They simply reach toward what they want to learn and they grab it. You still have that capacity. It has not left you. What may have left you is the belief that you still have it. And that belief, that limiting, crippling, false belief is the only thing standing between who you are today and who you could become. The problem is never capacity. I have never met a human being who lacked the raw capacity to improve their life. The problems I have seen in myself and in thousands of people I've worked with over the years are problems of judgment, of willpower, of desire, and yes, of excitement. People lose the fire. They get comfortable. They stop believing. They settle. Do not settle. You were not put on this earth to coast. You were not designed for mediocrity. The very fact that you are sitting in a room like this, voluntarily investing your time in your own growth, tells me that somewhere inside you there's a fire that has not gone out. My job today is to throw some fuel on it. Get excited about the journey, not just the destination, because the journey is where the growth happens. The journey is where the character is built. The destination is wonderful. The wealth, the freedom, the accomplishment, but it is who you become on the way there that will stay with you forever. Get excited, because a person on fire with purpose and possibility is unstoppable. Step 5. Get away. And now we arrive at the step that surprises most people. The step that feels counterintuitive. The step that sounds almost irresponsible. Get away. After everything I have said about goals and learning and action and excitement, I am telling you to get away, take space, create distance, step back from the grind and the hustle and the relentless forward momentum, and breathe. Because here's what I know after decades of studying successful people. The ones who build sustainable fortunes, not just money, but rich, full, meaningful lives, are not the ones who work the most hours. They are the ones who know how to balance intensity with recovery. They know when to push hard and when to pull back. They understand that the bow that is always pulled tight eventually snaps. Getting away is not about laziness. It is about strategy. It is about longevity. It is about making sure that the engine stays running for decades instead of burning out in years. Success, real success, is not just about how to earn well. It is about how to live well. There is a man who makes $1 million a year and has no time for his family, no peace in his soul, no health in his body, no joy in his daily existence. Is that a fortune? I do not think so. That is a prison with a higher income bracket. True fortune means you have built a life that you actually want to live. That your relationships are rich. That your mind is clear. That your body is strong. That at the end of each day, you can look back and say, that was a day well lived. So what does getting away look like in practice? First, it means spending time alone in reflection, not staring at your phone, not consuming content, sitting quietly with your own thoughts and asking the important questions. What is working in my life right now? What is not working? Am I still aligned with my goals? Am I becoming the person I said I wanted to become? Am I moving in the right direction, or have I drifted? Regular reflection is the steering wheel that keeps you on course. Second, it means genuine rest. Not just sleep, although sleep is critical, but deep, intentional rest. The kind of rest that actually recharges you mentally, emotionally, and physically. Take the vacation. Disconnect from work completely for a weekend. Spend a day in nature. Do something that fills your soul instead of depleting it. When you come back to your work after genuine rest, the quality of your thinking, your creativity, and your energy is dramatically higher than if you had just kept grinding through. Third, and perhaps most importantly, it means investing in your relationships. Spend time with the people who matter most to you. Not just physically present with your mind somewhere else. Actually present, actually connected, actually listening, laughing, growing together. Your family, your true friends, the people who have been with you through the hard seasons and the good ones. These relationships are not a reward you earn after success. They are part of the success. They are part of the fortune. Without them, all the wealth and all the achievement is hollow. I once heard it said this way: do not walk in front of me, I may not follow. Do not walk behind me, I may not lead. Walk beside me and be my friend. That is one of the most profound and human things I have ever heard, because it speaks to the truth that none of us is meant to do this alone. We are not meant to be isolated conquerors. We are meant to be connected, supported, loved human beings who build great things together. Get away from the noise. Get away from the pace. Get away from the urgency that tells you there is no time to stop. Because here is the paradox. When you master the discipline of getting away, when you come back, you work with more clarity and more power than you ever could have by just grinding through without stopping. Balance does not slow your progress. Balance sustains it. And so there you have it. The 5 steps that take you from average to fortune. Get serious. Define your goals. Commit to your personal development. Stop drifting and start designing your life with intention and precision. Get smart. Become a lifelong learner. Read, journal, study, listen. Never stop growing your knowledge, because knowledge is the seed that every great result grows from. Get going. Take action. Imperfect, messy, courageous action. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating momentum with the moment you have right now. Get excited. Fuel your fire. Embrace discipline. Believe in your potential. Understand that any day you wish, you can make a choice that changes everything. Do not let anyone or anything extinguish your belief in what you're capable of becoming. And get away. Build a life worth living. Protect your rest, your reflection, your relationships. Earn well and live well. Because fortune is not just what is in your bank account. Fortune is what is in your life. Now let me bring this full circle and come back to the question I started with. 10 years from now, you will surely arrive somewhere. You will surely become someone. The question is, where? The question is, who? You are sitting here today with a choice in front of you. Not a vague, abstract choice. A real, concrete, practical choice. You can leave this room today and go back to the way things have always been. The same habits, the same patterns, the same results. There's nothing wrong with you if you make that choice. It is a human choice. It is the safe choice. Or you can leave this room today and decide that this is the day. This is the moment. This is where your extraordinary life begins. Not when conditions improve. Not when you feel completely ready. Not when all the stars align. Today. Because the difference between average and fortune is not intelligence. It is not luck. It is not the family you were born into or the circumstances you were handed. The difference between average and fortune is a decision. A serious, committed, daily, relentless decision to apply these 5 principles until your life reflects the full measure of what you are capable of. You have the capacity. Every single person in this room has the capacity. The only variable is whether you will use it. So I will ask you one final time, and I want you to hear it with everything you have. 10 years from now, You will surely arrive somewhere. The question is where. Make that decision now. Make it count. Thank you.